President Donald Trump says he has given Iran a final notice. Do a deal by tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, or he said we're blowing up the whole country. That warning came again at a news conference that also included information about the successful search and rescue operations of rescuing 2 airmen shot down over the Easter weekend. Fox 4's Sean Rabb in the newsroom right now with more on what the president had to say today. Sean?
Yeah, had a lot to say, and perhaps overshadowing the storyline of the successful search and rescue mission. The president's telegraphed message today to Iran and what will happen if that nation state does not make concessions that include no nuclear weapon ever and the opening of the Strait of Hormuz before his Tuesday night deadline.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to.
Those 4 hours starting at 8 p.m. Tuesday night, the president threatened. And in the same breath, suggesting the U.S. may help Iran rebuild.
It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
Are you concerned that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No, not at all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Trump responding to that New York Times reporter, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
Mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
And he says Iran must reopen the Strait of Hormuz, passageway to 20% of the world's oil. He was questioned about his seemingly mixed signals about the conflict.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages. Right. And we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So which is it? Are you winding this down, or are you escalating?
I can't tell you. I don't know. I can't tell you. It depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of, well, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Egypt, Turkey, and Pakistan have been trying to broker peace between the U.S. and Iran, but Iran's rejected those countries' 45-day ceasefire proposal. Trump again saying Iran must agree to a deal by 8 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday night.
We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me. And part of that deal is going to be we want free traffic of oil and everything else.
Now, Iran says it will attack critical infrastructure and energy locations across the Middle East if its power plants are targeted by the United States as threatened. President promises Tuesday will be a tension-filled wait-and-see day across the region.
All right. Let's, just a little more than 24 hours. We'll see. Sean Rabb, thanks.
Okay.